Hi everyone, Nadine Briggs here, Director of Simply Social Kids. I wanted to tell you a story today about the power of empathy. Given the situation that we're in with all the going back to school, with the hybrid model, the in school, all online, whatever your child is doing, it's possible that we're not going to be able to make things better for them in terms of the situation that they're in if they dislike it in any way. There might be small changes you can make, but overall, it's just a situation that's just, it is what it is, and we all have to kind of make the best of it. But one of the things that's a pretty big tool in your toolkit is empathy. And I wanted to share you a story about a time when empathy really made a difference, that so you can understand what I'm talking about regarding how powerful it can be. So I have two adult children. My daughter, Megan, is 23 and she has Down syndrome, and she has a younger brother who's now 21. Back when they were in second grade and fourth grade, fifth grade, I think she actually was in fifth grade, my son was going to go to the next school up. So he was a second grader going to the 3 through 5 grade school. And they had a move up day. So he was all excited. I mean, it's a big deal for these 8-year-olds to go, these second graders to go on up to their move up day. So they go to the school, and they knew that he probably was going to see his sister in the school. Well, given that she's got some additional challenges and she loves him, like adores him, I wanted to make sure that she didn't embarrass him in any way by hugging him, saying she loved him in front of his buddies, all that kind of stuff. So I had a conversation with the school. I had talked to her age. I think she had a 1-on-1 aide at that point, and mentioned this and said, can we make sure that this experience is the best it can be for my son and not be embarrassed, even though he's probably going to see his sister. She was excited he was coming that day as well. So he has his move up day and he comes home, and I say, how was it? And he said, it was horrible. Megan hugged me. She said she loved me and she embarrassed me. And I was like, oh, really? Like, that's weird. Like, we had this whole conversation. We had everything all planned out about this, that was not to happen so that he would have a good experience on his move up day. So we talked about it, and I had called the school and said, what happened? And I found out from them that that's not at all what happened. She didn't do any of that. She was excited to see him. Maybe she kind of jumped up and down a little bit. Maybe sometimes she used to do a little bit of this, get excited, show she was excited to see him and said hi to him, but she didn't hug him. She didn't say she loved him like he had claimed. So I remember bringing him out onto the front porch. I'll never forget this day. And I said, all right. So I said, I heard what you said about your move up day and how Megan interacted with you, but why don't you tell me what really happened today? Because I know that that's not exactly how it went down. So can you maybe tell me what really happened? I'm not angry or anything like that. I just really want to know what happened. So he told me. He said, well, there was this kid in my class, and when he saw my sister, or saw Megan, he said, that's your sister? That, in his little 8-year life, was the first time anybody anywhere had ever said anything negative about his sister. So, monumental day for him in a very negative way. So we talked about it, and we said, wow, that's really hard, that, whatever we said, I can't remember exactly what I told him at that moment, to be honest with you. But we talked about it, and then we kind of let it go. Well, after that, he's lying about brushing his teeth. He's lying about doing his homework. He's just not himself. He's just acting up in ways that are just not normally what he's like. And I was like, something's going on. So realized that we weren't done with what happened that day. So I sat him down again and kind of discussed the issue one more time, and said to him, basically, that must have really been hard to hear that kid talk about Megan like that. And that's just my empathy. That's empathy, right? His response was, it broke my heart in two. That experience shattered him. That one comment from that one kid shattered him. It was so painful to him and so hard that talking about it one time wasn't enough. We needed to say, he needed somebody to acknowledge that situation was painful. And once he was able to acknowledge that and express that pain, he was able to then let it go. And he put it behind him. The lying stopped. All the rest of it stopped. And he was basically okay again, having had that experience. But I wanted to share that story with you because I do think it really does explain how powerful empathy is. And I think kids right now, with the school situation going on and the difficulty socializing, that empathy is exactly what they need. Thanks for listening.